Hey, we're back with more of a brief episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. And today we're talking about PUBG on PS4. We've been playing it in the office because we figured we'd just give PS4 fans some perspective on it, just like we did with the Xbox One version. Although we haven't had a lot of luck with chicken dinners at all, as you could probably tell by our crappy gameplay we captured, PUBG on PS4 is still good for some folks who haven't had the chance to play the game. Pardon if this Before You Buy sounds similar to the other PUBG ones I've done. I'm gonna retread a lot of ground, but let's get into it. PUBG, 1 year later or so from the mainstream success, has lost a bit of steam, either with fans of the game or just in the culture in general, thanks to the rise of Fortnite. But for me, and basically all the guys at gameranx, PUBG has always filled a different corner. Slower, tactical, tense, and just immensely satisfying. The game in general, regardless of console, has not been cleaned up and fixed and supported in the drastic ways a lot of us were hoping or expecting in some regards, even if I'm generalizing a little bit, but that core gameplay is still solid as hell. And it does work on console. I will always preach from the heavens with this game in particular that this is very much a PC gamer-ass game where keyboard and mouse makes the experience that much better. But still, much like the Xbox One version, the controls here map nicely enough to a DualShock controller. Aiming and movement is as optimized as it can be for a game like this, although it does still feel a little bit more responsive on Xbox. Control-wise, it just seems to be a competent port. And thankfully, performance-wise, the console version of the game has improved since launch. Like the Xbox One version launched as a complete mess. I mean, the game still doesn't look that great, and the frame rate nosedives as you parachute in, but it's much more stable and playable than it's ever been. Foliage looks extremely rough, and the game almost looks ancient in spots, though, especially when it comes to light and shadow. And I also noticed not much advantage with playing on a PS4 Pro either. But it doesn't look that great, but at least most of the time the frame rate holds up. And that's really the main draw here, the gameplay. Blemishes aside, it's great for someone on PS4 who only has a PS4 and has been dying to see what the hell this whole PUBG thing is all about. It made a huge splash on the gaming scene right before Fortnite. Everyone was talking about it like crazy. And now, seemingly years later, Sony fans can finally get their hands on it here. I just like people being able to play things, so for that, I chalk it up as a win. If you've been waiting to experience PUBG, hopefully there were some people waiting out there on PS4, I'm not sure, but what you get is an exciting core Battle Royale game. 100 players drop onto one of a few maps. You don't get access to the snow one yet, though, unfortunately. It looks awesome. But the game is basically a scramble to find weapons and equipment and then kill or be killed as the map slowly closes in on you. Unlike Fortnite, this game is a bit more of a tactical, slower-paced third-person shooter. I love it because it reminds me of the old SOCOM games where there was emphasis on going prone, sneaking around, using the right scope attachments for weapons set to single fire, and generally just being accurate. Now, I know it's way harder to be accurate on a controller compared to PC, but still, it is a lot of fun. The reason Battle Royale games are so successful is because the adrenaline rush you get from getting down to the final few players feels like nothing else in video games. It's excellent for the competitive player, but also for casual folks too. It's fun. Pick up and play is fairly easy, but it's tough as hell to master. Part of the fun is getting to know the maps and knowing where you prefer to drop. Now, if you are a first timer looking for advice, I'd always suggest to not be afraid to drop in a hot zone with a bunch of other players. Think of it this way, you have to get practice in when it comes to quick looting and shooting. Spending long stretches without firing a gun is fine if you know what you're doing, but when the time comes for you to use that weapon and you have no practice actually doing so, you'll usually end up getting got even if you initially had the drop. Clearly from our gameplay, because we are all out of practice with playing with a controller, that definitely is the case. Now, since the game has been around for a while now, you do get cleaner menus, more unlockable customization items than ever before, and the game itself just has slight quality of life improvements as well as a lot more weapons. I just really hope it's not too late for PUBG on PS4, because I've loved this game from the beginning, ups and downs, and I really hope it finds a new, welcoming audience here. If you're a PS4 fan and that's all you got and you've been wanting to play this, I'm excited for you, because this is a really cool game to experience. Despite its pretty massive flaws, the raw fun factor is absolutely great. But of course, that is a before you buy. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion thrown in, but now I definitely want to hear yours down in the comments. This was kind of just like a quick catch-up video, but if you have been playing on PS4, I'd love to hear your perspective as well. Have you been having issues? Do you think the price justifies the content? Whatever you think about PUBG PS4, let's talk down in the comments. Unless you're just playing Super Smash Brothers, then you go back to doing that. But if you enjoyed this video and learned something, you know, clicking the like button helps us out. We really appreciate it. And if you're new, consider subscribing because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.